Jordan, can you frickin' believe it, man?
What?
4 years of Shonen flop.
What?
And it's time for us to duel.
You mean duel?
Duel. I wonder how they didn't peak that back in the day. Jordan, we are going to be ranking everything we have read this year.
Oh, Jesus.
That is going to be Ginka and Luna all the way to Takamagara Gahara. And I know there's at least one series I'm pretty sure we're going to have a fight about, but that's the fun of it. And also, listeners, so what we're going to be doing is we're going to do every episode we've recorded so far. We're going to go through every series that we covered. Jordan and I are going to compare how we ranked each of them, make a mutual agreement, have a final master rank for the year, and then integrate that into our lifetime ranking. Along with that, though, we're going to start with actually the main episodes, and then we'll also talk about the Patreon stuff where you can, of course, listen to those episodes on the Shonen Flop Patreon. That's patreon.com/ShonenFlop. So, Jordan, shall we get started?
Let's do it.
We are starting, as I mentioned before, with Ginka and Luna. Jordan, where did you put that series?
F.
Yeah, I put that in F tier.
No, that series is a fucking mess.
F is for flop.
At least the art is good.
That is true. Also, listeners, I have a description that Jordan and I used. So here's how we're ranking it. So we have the typical S to FF tier. We'll get into triple F when we do our lifetime. But essentially, S is legit one of the best things ever written. A, really good, worth reading, even if you're not a fan of flop manga. B, solid series. It's probably the best of a series that you would say is like you would read if you're into flop manga. And then that's kind of the flop barrier. So you're not a flop if you're between S and B. If you're a C tier, you're okay. You're at the border of not being a flop. And D, it definitely tries, but had some issues. And then under that is a certified flop barrier where we have F, which is pretty bad, or you may not regret reading it ironically. And FF, you will regret reading it even ironically.
Yeah.
So that's a heads up. So yeah, so Ginka Luna, very bad, but yeah, there's a little bit of value reading it still.
And I will say, listener, I forget how I ranked these on the episode.
Yeah.
So you may be listening and be like, that didn't sound like how Jordan's described it in his episode. Like maybe I said something was a certified flop and it turns out it's like a flop here, or I said it was a flop and it's not a flop here. I don't remember. Remember.
Neither do I. So that's going to be the fun of it. I thought Jordan for a second, I don't remember how I ranked them in this list. And I was like, Jordan, you just made the list.
I'm looking at it right now. That would be very strange.
I would genuinely be concerned.
I may have forgotten how I ranked it, but I'm looking at it right now. So I at least can look at my list.
Next up, we have Butsu Zone. How did you rank this one, Jordan?
F.
I actually had it in D tier. I would say it's at least better than Ginka and Luna.
It's better than Ginka and Luna. It's between D and F. I went back and forth. I mean, like, it's
just not great.
It's not good. It's a bad series. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
I definitely feel like it's not something I fully just regret reading. It didn't hurt me.
Yeah, but it's
not good.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the series from like C to D are things where it's like, it's not great, but like could have been good,
Yeah, C and D are like they at least tried.
Butsu Zone, I don't see a world in which it's good.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, it's the Shaman King.
Yeah, exactly. The world in which is good is just Shaman King.
Yeah. All right, next up, I think we have our first challenger of a series that's definitely not F tier, Takeke Ryusei.
I have it in D.
I have it in C. I thought it was on the upper end of like a flop series.
Yeah.
It had amazing art. It was actually it was not a flop for the first like 8 chapters. And it's not like it became the worst thing we've ever read after that point.
I just feel like the majority of that series is bad.
Yeah.
I would accept a C. Some of these are like on the cusp of C and D. Like, you know what? Because those first few chapters they're really good.
And that art, it's legitimately one of the best drawn things.
The art is fantastic. So I'll give you a C.
All right, next, Jordan, we have what usually comes to mind when we think about something bad we read this year. Ichinose is Under Control. Is that F or FF?
I have it in D.
What?
It wound up not being as bad as I thought it would be.
I literally made a list of times this gag manga made me laugh, and it was like 10 times.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right, we'll put it in F tier then.
Yeah. I forgot a lot about this.
Yeah, so I'll say it's better than Butsu Zone and Ginka and Luna. All right.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Harrisburg and Mirror World. Oof, wow, that last chapter of it. Where do you have this one, Jordan?
FF.
FF?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, FF. I don't like that series. It's bad.
All right. Next, we have Amalgam Distortion, which, as I've talked about, has perhaps one of the greatest author glow ups. Everyone should read
Yeah.
Dragon and Phoenix, or
Chameleon.
Dragon and Phoenix is the Chinese restaurant I order at.
Ah.
Yeah, it's very good. All right. So, Jordan, where did you put Amalgam of Distortion? I personally had it in D tier.
I did too.
All right, let's do it.
I mean, it's flop. It's not great. It's not good, but like, it's not awful. Again, the art is fantastic.
Yeah, the guy definitely levels up his art even more than that, which is crazy.
Yeah.
All right, speaking of weird art, we have Nano Hazard. This is our first series I know for a fact we didn't call a flop this year. So
Yeah.
I feel it's on the weaker end, so I'd probably give it a B.
I gave it an A.
You gave it an A?
I really like it.
Is it just because you fucking love how everyone died at the end?
I thought it was extremely compelling. Like, so much shit happens in that. David, I know how much shit happens in that because I wrote the fucking plot summary. I was really impressed with how many things actually mattered in that series.
As we told Shannon, never waste your time, which is actually very impressive.
Never waste your time. It's interesting. Like, I genuinely haven't read something like it. And yeah, the ending is ballsy as fuck.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of awesome. Like, the fact that it's like, it makes you like kind of question whether it's good or not.
So you would tell anyone, even if they weren't like a flop manga person, they should read Nano Hazard?
I think it's an experience.
How about we'll put in A for now and see if anything knocks it down to B tier?
The ones I have in A are kind of like, they're experiences. I feel like you should read them. Like,
okay, all right. Next up, we have Stars. Speaking of shitty plot summaries.
fuck Stars. I fucking hate Stars. It wasted my time.
But the art is so nice.
I don't care. David, the vast majority of those panels are taken up by text boxes.
That's true.
Even if the art is good, half of it's covered up.
Better or worse than Harrisburg?
I don't know. It's like, it's there. Like, fuck. I'm angrier at Stars than maybe any other series on here.
What a waste of good art.
What a waste of good art. Just a complete waste of everything. I would put it below Harrisburg just because I'm not angry at Harrisburg in the way that I am of Stars.
All right. Next, we have one of, I think the series we said was our favorite of last year. So we definitely know where it might be going. So where would you put Fabricant 100?
I put it in B.
You like Nano Hazard more than Fabricant?
I did.
I think Fabricant 100's ending is better than Nano Hazard's.
Fabricant 100's ending is really, really good, but overall, there are too many flaws in Fabricant for me to really put it in A, and it's not original enough of a premise for it to like topple Nano Hazard, which is just such an interesting read.
Yeah, you're right. It's not a flop primarily because of how good that ending is.
Exactly. The ending was fantastic. Yeah.
That's fine. All right. Next up, we have Rookie Policewoman. Jordan, I put her in F tier.
I did as well.
All right. I would say it's probably better, though, than Isunoki's Under Control. I think it's worse, but it's better than Butsu Zone.
Ooh, I don't know.
It's definitely better than Gink and Luna.
Yes, it's better than Gink and Luna. Shit, I don't know. Like, I'm willing to put it above Butsu Zone,
right,
but they're like right around the same level of quality.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, next up we have Cyborg Grandpa G. I put this in D tier. I think it's just not as bad as the F tiers, even though it has a lot of issues. And that art is so good.
I put it in C?
C? So you think it's better than Amalgam?
Yeah, like I think it's like an interesting manga. Some of the jokes land.
And then it goes for 10 more pages.
And then it goes for 10 more pages. I mean, it's a flopped manga. It's not good, David.
Yeah.
You know what, though? I'm looking at the ones that I have in C besides that, and they're all better than it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm willing to put that down in D.
All right, so we'll put it above Amalgam. Next up, the good art train keeps going. We have Tamaku Cinema. I put this at the bottom of C tier. I think it had some fun ideas. It's not offensive. The art is very good. I think, honestly, a lot of the issues we had was more it didn't use its potential very well, which is, yes, definitely a criticism of it, but it also means that as an overall package, you can't really penalize it for it.
I have it in D.
Do you like it more than Cyborg Grandpa G?
No, I like Cyborg Grandpa G more than that.
Okay.
I feel like Tenmaku Cinema, there are so many problems with it. There are interesting aspects to it, but like, I don't know. I don't really think it gets there.
All right.
Because again, the series I have in C, I like significantly more than it.
Fair enough. All right. Next up, we have Do Retry. I had this at the bottom of F tier. I think it's just barely too good not to be considered absolute dog shit.
That's F. Do retries F. It's not complete dog shit. It's not a miserable read. It's just a bad series.
Yeah.
It's not Bone Collection, the other work. Like, we talked about how, like, the author had a small glow up.
Yeah. This was not his spy family.
It's like when Krillin gets his inner power unlocked by Guru and he gets like a little bit stronger.
Which is, you're referencing the Team 4-star version of that conversation.
Yeah.
Which is effectively the canon version. But anyway, so Jordan, is this better or worse than Ginka and Luna?
Man, I don't know, because on one hand, the story is a lot more coherent. On the other hand, Ginka and Luna's art is so much better than this.
I'm fine putting it under Ginka and Luna.
I think you put it under Ginka and Luna. It's close, though. Don't read either one.
Fair. Next, we have Ice Head Gil, perhaps the most inoffensive series we read. I still put it in F tier, but it's kind of like a middle of the pack where it's a very strong contender for series we'll most likely have forgotten we read.
Absolutely, it's F tier. I mean, because it's very bad, but yes, it's like inoffensive as hell.
I'm going to put it before Ginka and Luna.
Yeah, I think it's a little better than I think it's better than Ginka and Luna.
All right, next up we have Smokey BB, which his biggest contribution was perhaps the greatest cover art we've ever had.
Yeah.
I also put this in F tier. I can't even remember anything good or bad about this series, though.
I have it in D tier.
Yeah, that's fine.
Because I remember liking the main character, but it was really stupid.
Yeah.
The whole series was very dumb and bad.
I'm going to put it after Amalgam, though. It's definitely not as good as Amalgam.
No, Amalgam's a lot better than Smokey BB. I'd be fine with it in F, but I think it's D.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
think it's
fine.
that bad. Like, I'm comparing it to the series we have in F, and it is better than all of them.
That's totally fine.
Which is, again, not saying much at all.
Yeah. Next up, we have Yokomano. This series is another series that, honestly, if you asked me to recap it, I couldn't tell you because I completely forgot what happened in this series because it was not very interesting.
I put it in F partly because I felt the exact same way, where it was like, what the fuck happened in there? The main thing that I remember is that it introduced a billion characters in the last couple chapters and then asked me to feel sad about them. Like,
I feel this is either before or after Ice Head Gil, which is in the failure because we don't remember anything about it zone.
I think it's better than Ice Head Gil.
Okay, that's fine. All right, next we have Full Drive, where we had to check how old his German grandpa was. I had this kind of in D tier. I think it had some fun moments, but there wasn't anything like that made me say, oh, this is fucking terrible,
I agree. It's in D tier. It's inoffensive. It has some cool moments. Like,
better or worse than Smokey?
I think it's better than Smokey BB because, like, we talked about it. The guy who wrote Smokey BB, like, it doesn't really feel like he cares about baseball, whereas the guy who wrote Full Drive absolutely cares about table tennis.
Yep. All right, Jordan, I feel this one we may have arguments about. Where did you put Saint Muscle, the most manga of all time? I put this. It is not a good manga,
Read
Jordan.
It rules. It is interesting. It fucking owns. I don't care how it objectively works. I am glad that I read it. I love that series.
I'm not putting Saint Muscle in A. It is a bad series, and you just have a special spot in your heart for it.
I think it kicks ass. Saint Muscle owns. David, you were like, there's going to be a certain amount of times I'm going to say fuck yeah, and we said fuck yeah all those times.
All right, fine.
Also, David, it has a guy named Giant King who is giant and a king, and his title is Giant King.
Fine. How about I will put in B tier, but I'm not putting in A tier because there are a lot of asterisks for the kind of person that would read Saint Muscle.
Yeah, the asterisks is a cool person who...
This is the first one where we had like a 3-tier rank difference between our opinions. All right, next we have Chang Cha. I think this is a praise slam dunk FF.
FF. This fucking garbage.
Where in FF?
It's the worst one. Let's be real. It's the worst one. Like...
Yeah, it doesn't even have good art.
No series made me angrier than Stars, but Chaga's just worse than Stars.
Yeah. All right. So, Jordan, this is the one I was fearing. We have Service Wars, which I put in A tier. I read this in real time because I didn't think it was going to be a failure. I assume you have it probably in C or D tier. Is that right?
I have it in C, but I'm not happy about it. It's sad because those first few chapters are A tier.
So good. All right.
They are A tier. It's just that it shits the bed. I really think an editor ruined this series, but as it stands, it is C for me. I wish I could say A. I really do, but I can't.
Here's where I think then, based on conversation, I'm going to say B tier above Fabricant 100.
Okay. All right. I'm fine with that.
So reverse fabricant, where the best part was the first few chapters.
Yeah.
Next, we have Killing Me. I had this, I think, in D tier. I think it was so inoffensive. Yeah, it wasn't great, but it was also really short. So it wasn't even like it was a torture to read it.
I also had it in D tier.
All right. Do you want bottom in D tier, or is there anything you would say in D tier it's better than?
I think it's better than BB.
Okay, that's fine. Martial Master Asumi with
Marshall Mathers.
yes, MMA. So this was not a flop. So
This is like the most B tier series we've read.
is this better or worse than Fabricant?
Oh man, I think it's a little better. I think it's more consistent. The ending, Fabricant's ending is absolutely better than it, of course.
Yeah.
But I feel like it is much more of a consistent manga.
That woman's fight,
Was really good.
honestly, what stopped it from being a flop, I think, was how good that last fight was. Takuma Gahara, which we so badly wanted not to be a flop. So it sounds like another C tier contender to me. What do you think?
That's C for me. That's C.
All right, I'm going to say it's worse than Takeki.
Yes.
It's such a shame. God, if you hadn't gone to the fucking school. All right.
Yeah.
So that is all of our main content. Now let's get into our Patreon content. First of all, we have Diesel, aka the unapologetic ripoff of part 3 of JoJo. I had this in FF tier.
Oh, this is F tier for me. This is the most, going by our definition, is the most F tier series because it is terrible.
You're right.
But I don't regret reading it ironically. It's only one chapter.
Fair.
And it is so stupid. It's hilarious. I mean, the bad guy's name is Bofa. Like,
Okay. So Jordan, where would you put this in F tier?
oh man. It's tough to say because part of me wants to put it at the top because it is the least painful because it's only one chapter. But like,
And what a chapter.
is that a good thing? I don't know. Like,
I would say, why don't we put it ahead of Ginka and Luna?
yeah, that's fair.
Next up, we have Sandland. I would say this is a slam dunk S tier.
My S tier is called Sandland tier because it's not even fair to compare.
Yeah.
It's Toriyama knocking it out of the park. Like, are you kidding me? This is not fair to compare to any of these.
We had Chainsaw Man on this list before. It happens sometimes.
Yeah.
All right, next up, we have The Right Way to Make Shonen Jump. It really picked up after, I don't understand why they talked about the printing process for the first like 10 chapters. It got really interesting and then just suddenly ended. I would say it's kind of like a C tier series.
I have it in C too.
I would say it's probably better than Takuma Gahara, especially because of how quick it is.
I don't know. I mean, here's the main thing I remember about The Right Way to Make Jump is when we got a confirmation that Shonen Jump is sexist and isn't aware that that's a bad thing. That's the main thing I remember from The Right Way to Make Jump.
They also did finally confirm how the table of contents works,
Yeah.
which actually was a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
So you want a bottom of C tier?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. All right, next up, we actually, speaking of masters, we have Monster.
I did not remember this series at all. I did not know how to rank it. Did we cover this series?
It's the one shot by Oda that features whatchamacallit that shows up in Wano.
Right!
Yeah, so that's not a good sign that you read something from Oda that you don't remember.
I completely forgot that existed. I guess that means it's C tier. Now that I'm thinking about it, it was pretty good.
I would put it at the top of C tier. That's where I had it.
The fact that I don't remember it at all is a bad sign. I saw that and I was like, did David make a mistake by putting that there? Like, I guess David messed up and put in just a series we didn't look at. But no, I just forgot it.
All right, I'm going to put it at the top of C tier.
Yeah.
And then finally, speaking of forgetting, Jordan, we have...
Oh, God.
Why don't you tell everyone the name of this series?
The Ichinose family's deadly secret.
Sins.
Damn it.
So you were so close.
I was so close.
God, this really pissed me off. I would honestly say that the first 2 volumes we read with Rem would have probably been in like B tier, and then it just shit itself so bad.
I have it in D.
Oh, I do too, actually.
Quality of those first few chapters.
Okay.
It goes B, F, C.
Yeah, okay.
So it evens out to like a D. It gets a bit better towards the end. But man, those F chapters.
God, what a waste of our time.
Real hard to get through. And the C is like the bottom of C. But those first few chapters, again, strong.
Is it better or worse than Amalgam?
Better than Amalgam because, again, it has stronger...
Better or worse than Cyborg Grandpa?
I think it's better than the Cyborg Grandpa.
So then it's at the top of D. We did it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Then, Jordan, we have our official ranking. With S tier, we have Sandland.
Not even fair. Not even fair. Honestly shouldn't even be on this. Like, it's not fair.
A, we have Nano Hazard. B, we have Saint Muscle, Service War, MMA, Fabricate 100. C, we have Monsters, Takeke Ryusei, Takamagahara, Right Way to Make Jump. D, Family Sins, Grandpa G, Tamaku Cinema, Amalgam of Distortion, Full Drive, Killing Me, Smokey BB. F tier, we have Under Control, Rookie Policewoman, Butsu Zone, that one.
Yakemono.
Yeah, I said Gil, Diesel, Ginka and Luna, and Do Retry. And finally in FF tier, we have Harrisburg and Mirror World, Stars, and Changcha.
Chagacha.
Jordan, I could not give a fucking shit about saying the names of these really bad series right.
Also, listener, if you see my tier and are confused by the order, I only cared about the order of the tiers. The individual tiers are not ordered.
All right, so Jordan, now we go to part 2 of this where we are going to make a lifetime list where we are taking this. All right, so let's dive into it. And of course, listeners, we will be including in the show notes a link to Imager where you can see all these. So Jordan, let's get to it. So first of all, I'm just going to do it in the order that they are presented. All right, so let's get started with Killing Me. So we have Killing Me in D tier. Where do you think it should go?
I feel like it should go right around our Blood Oath, just because it's thematic.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm not sure if it's better. I really am not sure if it's better or worse than Blood Oath. I think it's a little worse than Blood Oath.
And you think it's better than Doron?
Ooh, now that you point that out.
I think it's worse than that, but I think it's better than Tokyo Demon Bride.
Because I think it's better than, or I think it's worse than Kako and the False Detective.
Okay, you think it's worse? Okay, so we'll put it there.
Yeah. I do think it's better than Love Rush, so yes.
Fair enough.
That is a good place to put it.
Next up, we have MMA. Jordan, so we have that right now in B tier. So is there a series you would say, wow, MMA is definitely better or worse than that? I would say I think it's better than Candy Flurry.
I was just going to say that. I think it's better than Candy Flurry.
Nice. Next up, we have Takamagahara. We had that in C tier. I would say I definitely think it's better than Red Sprite.
Yes, I think it's better than Red Sprite. Better or worse than Ayashimon, though? What's the one to the left of Ayashimon? I can't...
Cool Shock BT.
Cool Shock BT. Yeah, it's definitely not as good as Cool Shock BT.
I feel like it's not as good as Ayashimon, because Ayashimon was just kind of like, okay, its whole run.
Yeah, that's all right. I'm down with that.
All right, next up we have Ginka and Luna, the first one joining the F tier. I would say it's better.
Dude, this is hard. This one's hard.
It's definitely better than Hi-Fi Cluster.
I was going to say, I think it's better than Hi-Fi Cluster. This is basically solely due to the art.
We can put that there. Yep. All right. Next, we have Butsu Zone, another F tier. We said that this was better than Ginka and Luna, but is it better than Ill Boy, Ill Girl?
Yeah.
I would say it's better than Champagne.
I would agree with that. Is it as good as Super Smartphone?
Yes, but not as good as Earthchild.
Just because of that first chapter, though.
Earthchild, the best one shot. All right, next up we have Takeke Ryusei in C tier. Is there a series that you would say that's definitely better? I would say Takeke Ryusei is probably better than Hell Warden.
Yeah, I would say so. I would say it's better than Teenage Renaissance David, honestly.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah.
Next up, we have at the top of F tier, we have Under Control. So,
Ooh, this is tough. This is really hard.
I think it's definitely better than Guardian of the Witch.
Yeah, I was going to say...
I want to say better than Tissa, because Tissa didn't even make sense.
I kind of feel that way too. The thing about Ichigaki is that it's actually pretty coherent. It's just not that funny.
Yeah.
But it does have moments where it is. They're just not that many.
Yeah.
I almost feel like it's better than Neru. I'm not sure though.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
But not as good as U19.
Yeah, I kind of feel that way.
All right, next up we have Harrisburger, first FF. This is hard. I feel it's actually stronger than most of these FF tiers.
It is.
I would say I'm just going to put it at the top, to be honest. I think it's better than Gunblades West.
I kind of agree. Yeah, it's there are aspects of Harasagawa that are not that bad, honestly.
Yeah.
It's just overall, it's not a good read. The issue is there's just no reason to read it, kind of. It's just
I agree. All right. So next up, we have Amalgam of Distortion. Jordan, we have this in D tier. We have already ranked Killing Me, so it's definitely above that. I would say it's better than Our Bloodo.
I think it's better than Aliens Area.
You know what? Actually, yeah, I can respect that, but not as good as Dark Mage.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. All right. Next up, we have Nano Hazard, our first A tier. I would put this, I would say it's probably the worst in A tier.
I would put it at the bottom of A tier, yeah.
Man, Magu, I'm just thinking that's such a great ending that series had.
Yeah,
All right. Next we have Stars. Stars. I feel it's worse than Gunblaze West, but better than everything else.
I agree with that. Just because the other things are so fucking bad.
Yep. Fabricant 100. So we have this at the bottom of B tier. I would say I think it's better than Candy Flurry.
Yeah.
Okay, so then it just goes there because we said it's worse than MMA.
Yeah.
All right. Next we have Rookie Policewoman. So it's going to go between Under Control and Butsu Zone.
I think it is right to the left of Tista.
Of Tista, you know what? I can respect that.
Yeah.
All right. Next is Cyborg Grandpa G. We had that in D tier. I think it is.
Ooh.
I would put it above Tokyo Demon Bride.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
You're down with the sickness.
Ooh,
Next, we have Tamako Cinema. So is this better or worse than Dark Mage?
I think it's a little worse than Dark Mage.
Next, we have Do Retry, Jordan. So this is the bottom of F tier. I know for a fact it is, I would say it's better than High Drive, Hi-Fi Cluster.
Yeah, I think it's worse than Neru, though.
Yeah, Ginka and Luna is next to it, so it wouldn't be able to go past that point.
Yeah, all right.
All right, next we have Ice at Gil. So this is definitely at least better than Ginka and Luna. I want to put it behind Champagne.
I think it's better than Champagne, but not as good as Super Smartphone. I think Super Smartphone's better. Right there.
Then that's totally fine. So we can actually do
Fuck Champagne.
Yokomono can also be slotted because there's not room otherwise, unless you think Yokomono is better than Super Smartphone.
Ooh. I would rather read Super Smartphone.
Okay, that's fine. All right, next up we have Smokey BB. Is it better or worse than Golem Hearts?
I think it's better than Golem Hearts.
Is it better or worse than Love Rush?
No.
Okay, so is it better or worse than that fucking thing where they had to hold hands the whole time?
No.
Okay, then we've got it.
That fucking thing where they had...
Next up we have Full Drive.
Yeah, no, that's true. I don't remember the name of that series either, so that's fair.
Fair. So next we have Full Drive. Full Drive. Double Arts was the name of it.
Double Arts!
Where would you put that? So it's got to go ahead of Killing Me, but it's got to go after Amalgam of Distortion.
Full Drive. I think it is right after Aliens Area and before Nine Dragon Ball Parade.
So it's the best sports we've read.
Yeah.
All right, Jordan, let's put your favorite series. Where are you putting Saint Muscle? What B tier series are you saying is worse?
That's SS, but no, I mean, no, B tier.
You place this one, man. I think it's worse than Mashal.
It's definitely worse than Mashal.
Is it better or worse than Black Torch?
I think it's right to the left of Bao.
Well, we said it was better, Jordan, than Fabricant 100.
Okay. Let's see.
So you got to put it between Fabricant 100 and Mashal.
What's to the left of Fabricant?
Oh, that's MMA. Sorry. It's got to be between MMA and Mashal.
Ooh. I think it's right in between MMA and Duranki.
Fair enough. So then that means actually that we can now auto place Service Wars in between. So we just move that block.
Yeah.
That entire block just got inserted. I love it.
Yeah, between Duranki and Candy Flurry.
Yeah, so that was the 2000. We did that last year. Remember where we put the first and the last thing next to each other and we just inserted that entire tier and it let us skip like 7 tiers to discuss. All right, next up we have Cheng Cha. This is our first FFT. I've lied. This is the last of our FF tier. This is worse than both of them.
This is bad.
How bad is it?
This is bad.
I think it is better than Zon, which is not a great place to be, but I think it might actually be worse than Build Wars or whatever the fuck.
Build King?
Build King, yeah, I think it's worse than Build King.
It's hard to say because SWAT is so bad.
That's true. Do you want to move it up more then?
Fuck. I feel like you could get more out of Chagacha than SWAT, honestly.
All right, how's it under Protect Me, Shigemaru?
I think it's worse than Protect Me, Shigemaru.
Fair enough. All right, now we're getting into our Patreon content. First, we have Diesel, which we put in F tier. So we know this is better than Ginka and Luna, but we know it's worse than Ice Head Gil. So you've got about 4 series to play with. I would say it's better than Champagne because of how ridiculous to read.
I agree. All
right.
Again, the main thing that keeps it at that level is the length.
Yeah.
like, it makes it a really funny read because you just get in and out and you don't get, like, if it was 10 chapters, it would be FF, like, at the middle of FF, like, at least. Like, but because it's one chapter, yeah, it's fine. It's really funny and and kind of really interesting to see.
Yeah, that's fair.
The bad guy's name is Bofa. I'm sorry, I keep going back to that. Like,
all right, Jordan, for the interest of time, now we have Sandland. Where are you putting that? That's S tier. I would say it is better than High School Family.
Yeah, it's not as good as Chainsaw Man or Look Back, but yes.
All right.
Sandland is kind of a classic, is the thing.
And it didn't overstay its welcome, which was great.
No, yeah.
Next, we have The Right Way to Make Jump. This is in C tier. This is below Takama. So, Jordan, its competition is Red Sprite through Monster Hunter or Raj.
I think it's worse than Last Seiyuki.
Okay, that's fine. All right, next up we have Monsters, which Jordan infamously said, I forgot we read this. That was at the top of our C tier, and it goes ahead of Takeke Ryusei. So, Jordan, I would say it is worse than level E.
I would agree. I think it's worse than level E.
All right.
What's between Takeke Ryusei and Monster? I don't recognize that series.
Fuck, I always forget the name. That's to do with the house that we had with Red.
Oh, yeah. Fuck, I liked that series too. Like,
do you want to put it past it?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. And then finally, Jordan, tell us the name of the last series that we're putting in.
The Ichinose Family's Deadly Sins.
Ah, Jordan, great job.
Nailed it. From Evangelion, that one.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Jordan.
Do. All right, this goes in D tier. D tier. It is going ahead of Grandpa G, so it doesn't have a ton of room. Is this better or worse than Dark Mage?
I think it's better than Dark Mage.
What about Robot Laser?
You mean the non-racist parts of Robot Laser Beam are better than it?
Okay, fair enough. All right, so Jordan, we have our master list. I am not going to repeat this. People can see the screenshot.
That's a lot of series.
That's a lot of series. So, Jordan, I want to say thank you so much for all of your hard work. This will be a fun one. We're at this is probably our longest thing ever for a chibi, but thank you so much for your hard work.
Oh, thank you so much, David, for everything that you've done for these past 4 years.
Oh my. I also say props to Shannon for the awesome cover art. Find her online at illuminyatea. Thank you, Dylan, for assistance with editing. Find his podcast, Anime Out of Context, at animeoutofcontext.com. Thanks to Tucker and Maxi B for assistance with pronunciation, translation, other miscellaneous research. Find us on X at Shonen Flopcast, Tumblr, Shonen-Flop, our website, shonenflop.com. We're also on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, or wherever else you get your podcast. Come join the Shonen Flop Discord. Super awesome time. Find a link to it in the show notes or on our website. You can talk about games, anime, whatever. You can even make your own tier list and post it there. And if you've been enjoying the podcast and want to help us keep going, consider subscribing to our Patreon. Wouldn't be able to keep the show running without their support. Get a ton of awesome perks. Jordan, what is the bonus content we are dropping this month?
Oh my God. Yeah, so for this month, we are recording our catch-up episode where we look over the art and the questions that we have covered.
Sure. Yeah. And we also are starting the Shonen Drop where we're doing a monthly recap series of the episodes. So we just want to catch up. You can get access to listening to us live, warm-up audio, episodes 2 days early. And if you become a patron, I'll send you some tokens, some Magic Gathering tokens, which feature my goblin dog, Ravioli. Jordan just got some.
I got them. They're wonderful.
She is a very good girl.
She is a good girl and she is a goblin.
And you can find it at patreon.com/ShonenFlop. And I want to read some of our wonderful patrons.
Also, fun fact, everybody, David's his favorite tabs include a Mirror's Edge review.
Thanks, Jordan. Starting with our dolphin dads, we have Glornak, Rachel, my wonderful wife. She's having a great time right now. She sent me some cake yesterday and she bought me a copy of Hades too so I could play it while she was on vacation.
Oh, David bought me a copy of Hades too.
Yeah, happy birthday, even though your birthday's not till August.
Hell yeah. Even though my birthday is in August.
Then we have Release B in the room to create a sense of danger. Moving on down to the Ravioli tier, where Ravioli is such a silly dog. She invented another stretch. She created the cat stretch where she puts all her feet together and stretches her back out. It's very silly. We have Chris, Eva, Lady T, Matt T, and Trevor Schechner. Moving on down to the King of the Forest, we have 090Z, Bandit Stoof.
My girlfriend. Oh, man.
Chad Mason, Jacob Andrew Galloway, Justin Hefner, Kirbymon, Marty, Max Baker, Riley, Sarah Hydra, T. Wolfwood, and Tommy Boy. Moving on down to the Galactic Ball Federation officers, we have a mid-sized Dan, Andrew Schnepp, Indies Islands, Aura, Blamumu, Brandon M, Brian Sexton, David Ackerson, Dennis James Moan, Drogo, Drew, Dylan, Nigel, Fax, Flash Cardman, Generic Man, Hans, Hyan Randall, Keanu, Manly P. Hall, Marabara, Matt, Mike, Obscure Reference, Knee Slapper, Optimus Joy, Reporting, Resident Warhammer Nerd, Ryan Jasinski, Sevilla, Scott Fischler, Silly Rookie, Simba for Senpai Ash, Staghorn, Taper Clip, Tucker Watley, Wright, and ZZ Digital, and a big thank you as well to our Beast Children patrons as well.
Thank you so much. I love all of you very much.
And Jordan, you want to toss in anything?
Yeah, check out Mission Ignition.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for listening. Tune in next Monday as we give our full thoughts on Guardian of the Witch. It is our 4-year anniversary, so we are re-reviewing that series.
Guardian of the Witch.
Joining us will be Brandon Bovia.
Whoa.
This has been David.
This has been Jordan. Thank you for listening to Shonen Flop. David, say it.
Keep on flopping floppers.
Bye.